Hello everyone, my name is Alan Samsel and this is my channel, Alan's Cloud. Welcome. Today's video we're going to be talking about the WTware thin client operating system and how to install that onto an HP T620 thin client that has an internal hard drive. And yeah, I mean I've done two videos so far on this topic, but this one's a little bit different because I got sponsorship from two companies. The uh, thin client was provided by PCLiquidations.com, and I'll show you the exact model that I'm going to be using. And the kind folks over at WTware.com that produced the thin client operating system software provided me with 5 licenses, and I'm going to be using one of those today. And if you stick around for the video, I'll tell you how you could maybe win one of the other 4. And so if you're interested in any of this, stick around. Okay, so let's talk about thin clients. I currently have an HP thin client, but it's an older model, and I wanted to get I know it's still several years old, but an updated to me one that had USB 3.0, because one of the things that I'm interested in doing is passing through some sort of a USB device, whether or not it's a hard drive or maybe a camera. I'm not quite sure yet, from a different location in my house, attached to the virtual machine that I'm gonna run with some hardware acceleration inside of my Proxmox hypervisor. So that's kind of the theory here is, set myself up with a virtual machine that's got hardware acceleration as far as, putting a GPU in there, and then, passing through some sort of a USB 3.0 device. The software that I'm going to be using, though, to make the connection from the thin client to the virtual machine on Proxmox is going to WTware, which is Windows Terminalware. Great little software. It's been ported over for the Raspberry Pi. People are using our Pis as their thin clients using this particular software. And it's fairly cheap. I think it's €40 for a license if you want to do it. But the beauty of it is that the valuation copy of it is the full version. You just have a banner over on the right hand side, and other than that, I haven't seen any limitations on the software. So they let you check it out fully in order to determine if you really want to buy it. And I think it's worth the money. So let's see here. Let me first show you. So PCLiquidations.com, they're the ones that I reached out to, and they were kind enough to provide me with one of these HP T620 thin clients. It's got 4 gigs of RAM, 1.65 gigahertz, as you can see. The solid state drive that is on there is only 16 gigabytes, but that's perfectly fine. Doesn't come with an operating system, and it's only $43. As you can see on their website, they have if you're not interested in this particular model, or you want something a little cheaper, they've got other older HP models on there, and it kind of runs the spectrum. You're going to get what you pay for. With this one here, the packaging, I mean, these guys, when they shipped it, took a week to get here, not a problem at all. But when it showed up, it had bubble wrap for days. I actually tried to do an unboxing video of that. I was so excited. I got it a couple of days ago. Wasn't able to do the video. One of the reasons why is it doesn't actually come. It's kind of like a laptop. It comes with, or should come with, a power brick that you plug into it, and it's I'll show you the barrel cable when we get to the to showing you the model itself. But the included power cable is actually the standard 3-prong for a regular computer. So just be aware. I mean, it's not an issue. I went on eBay and you get the power supply for $9.99, and I got it in, I think, a day, which is why I'm able to do this video tonight, because I'm heading out of town on Friday, and just good timing to do this tonight. Super excited. So I got it in, and I've already got it set up behind me there, and I got a separate camera, and we're gonna try try out giving you guys an over-the-shoulder look at actually installing the operating system onto the internal hard drive, and you know, kind of going from there. So again, PCLiquidations.com, they've got several great deals. The $43 for this particular model is not a bad deal at all. The even older one that I have right now, I think I paid $25 to $30, you know, with the shipping on it. You know, so this one here with the USB 3.0, it runs pretty fast as well. These guys here, this is WTware.com. Go here, and they have a newer version than I was used in my previous video of the software. So I'm going to actually run you through the installation as far as, you know, how I go about doing it, and let's just dive into that real quick. Okay, so here you can see I've got a Windows 10 virtual machine, and it's actually open to a browser to be able to download that newer version of the software. I want to grab it, save, and there we go. That downloads. Okay, so that's what I just did. Yep, I'm on 5.8.46 right now is the version that I have installed. I'm gonna go ahead and run you through the installation. Yes, this. Okay, so they have, you know, again, I already have it installed. I don't think there's any reason why you should change the normal installation directory. There's just no need. One of the three things that I do not install, because I don't use this particular configuration. One of the things that's nice about this software as well is you can actually, if you have your dedicated machine and you want to run the images that thin clients, say you have one or two or three of them that you want to actually do network booting from, you can set that up from WTware. The software is included in this. That's one of the expected configurations, is to be able to do a network boot. Me personally, you know, there's plenty of space. 16 gig is rather large actually for the WTware operating system. So I don't want to do the network boot. I'm just going to install it, you know, straight away onto it. So you could actually run it just from a USB drive as well. That's not a problem. But again, there's an internal hard drive on this sucker, so I'm going to use it. But I uncheck all three of those boxes because I'm not using their DHCP service, HTTP service, or FTP. Next, here as configured now. That. And the nice thing is when this done, it's going to have, you know, put the newer version on there, and it'll let me select it when the menu pops up. I'll show you that, but it will actually also keep all of my the configuration that I've already done for the other thin client. So we're gonna hit go there. So so one of the key things about this configurator software, I'm gonna go and turn it on. It's here under the WTware folder, but you're going to want to right click on it, and then under more here, run as administrator. You're not going to be able to do the installation to USB drive that you want to be able to do if you don't do it that way. You're going to hit a roadblock pretty much right away. All right, so again, here's the nice thing. Here is the server that I had installed before. The configuration for it, and I'm going to use the exact same thing, so I don't actually need to change, you know, the server that it's of the virtual machine that it's going to be connecting to. You know, that's the 3389 is the standard RDP port, and that's the protocol that I'm using inside of that virtual machine. So I don't have to change any of the other you know, setup for this, because I want to be able to essentially do the exact same thing that my older version is doing. So once you've got all of that set up, you come over here to boot USB, And I already have my thumb drive that I'm going to be using in there. I had Parted Magic on there at one point, so it's very handy. But here under network, so if you want to use, you know, subnet mask, you basically DHCP server, which I do here from the beginning. I can find out what IP addresses are available on my network. I know that I have several available, so that's not a problem. And I could, go ahead and put all that in here manually, but we're just going to do DHCP. So the configuration source, again, I love how they have the smiley faces and the frowny faces. You can download the terminal configuration files from an FTP server, right? Well, frowny face because you have to have a server. You can download, let's see, HTTP server. That's that option. Again, we didn't install those. And what I want to do is this very last one here, where the configuration file should be edited in the thin client text editor or web browser. Not nice. I disagree. I'm going to install this thing. That's how I like it. We're not going to do the license file to the USB. I haven't actually licensed it yet. I'll probably show you that process again, but I'm going to pull it up and show you the demo version on the machine first. So then let's see here. I'm going to go to the version tab, and right here is where I was telling you, if for some reason 5850 version, this newest one that we just installed, doesn't work, we can go ahead and roll back to 5846. So that's not a problem. Let's see here. Not going to set any of that up right now. We're just going to write this to USB disk. Yes, all the data. Okay, so it is ready to use. We're going to close that out. Minimize it, but I do need to safely eject my flash drive. Okay. Pull that out. All right. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to do, this is the view that you're going to see. First, I'm going to go through the actual, kind of features of the thin client from PC Liquidations that I got from them, and then I'm actually going to, install this on there, and hopefully the audio from that microphone over there on the webcam is going to be good, and this won't be an issue. So we'll see. 1 second. Okay, so first things first, the thin client itself. I don't know if you can see due to the light, but these two ports on here are have the little blue tab in them, so those are going to be the USB 3.0. You've got two USB 2.0s here at the top, and then you actually have your microphone and headphone port up here on the front as well. And then on the back side, well, here on the side, you can pull the little tabby thing out and see all the data about the machine, to include, I believe, a MAC address on there, and that'll come in handy. But so down here bottom is the power cord that I was telling you about. It's actually a very wide barrel cable, and this is the power supply that I got off of eBay for $9.99. So not hard at all. You just type in HP T620 power supply, and Bob's your uncle. There you go. You're gonna find it. Let's see here. Down here at the very bottom, it looks like we've got an audio in and an audio out, I believe. We've got a standard VGA. You've got the PS2 connections for keyboard and mouse, if anybody at all is still using PS2. You've got two display ports, this being an HP. I think that's where they were headed at the time. Still pretty standard. I happen to have a converter if I needed one. You got 2 more USBs up here, and so I've got my mouse in here wireless and the keyboard hooked up here, and you've got your built-in NIC card up here. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my cable. Spin this puppy around. I'm going to fire it. So, and that was it. I don't know if you saw that blip, but you know, the screen here is telling me that I've got no boot disk has been detected, or the disk has failed. Hasn't failed. There is no operating system on it at the moment, but like I said, I don't know if you saw that HP logo flash up. These things boot super quick, and they're actually so quick. In the BIOS, you can set up a delay just so that you could try to get into it a little bit easier. So what you got to do to get into these things, you just do a Control-Alt-Delete, and then you hit F10 as it's booting. Well, I missed it that quick. And there you go. So super quick on these things. You know, it's probably a little bit hard to read here, but it's pretty much just a standard HP BIOS configuration, left to right. You got file with system information, you know, dates and times, apply the settings, apply defaults. Storage, you can go through here, and that was what I was interested in when I first saw that hard drive error. Device configuration, it does say that I have my SATA 1 is a 16 gigabyte SanDisk drive, right? So that's the internal one. It's there, and the BIOS is seeing it. So at that point, I knew that I was good. You can set the boot order in here in case you want to boot from a USB drive. Not going to be doing that. Well, I am to set it up. So let's take a look. The boot order. USB floppy CD, USB hard drive. Then you come down here, legacy boot. So the first ones are UEFI, and then you get legacy, and then you get down here to hard drive, to SATA, and then finally it would let you do a Pixie boot if you wanted to over network, but we're not going to do that. Let's see here for security, pretty standard. Power, advanced. You got some BIOS options, some bus options. Yeah, so pretty much we're gonna save changes, or ignore changes, and exit. But I'm gonna plug my USB drive with the installer here into one of these USB 2.0 ports. And of course, I got it wrong. Let's see here. Here we go. And let's see if it boots straight to it. So this tells me, because it said hit delete to enter setup, that is the WTware software. So it's booting off of the thumb drive right now. Okay. It says please wait. No response from DHCP server. Repair DHCP. Press Control Delete. That's an interesting one. Hit Control Alt Delete. We'll move back into it. For some reason my network didn't pull DHCP. So we'll hit delete, go into the setup here. Let's see, all WTware onto the hard disk. Let's just do that first. It's our middle option. It's telling us that all the data will be lost. Yep, we are aware. Okay, it's finished. So we're going to pull this out. We are then going to reboot. And while that was doing it, I went over and plugged in the cord. So that was why we weren't getting an IP address. So now it's actually booting off of the internal 16 gigabyte drive where we just installed the WTware software. And now that I've hooked it up, it should pull IP address. Set up. Try configuring the video card. So it turns out, I'm going to hit delete here and hit enter. And then one of the first things that we need to do for this particular device, figure out what kind of video card settings we need. So we've got the option here to do configure video card, and I've turned off the light here so you can see this a little bit better. This actually isn't, it allows you to select the settings that you want, but it doesn't save them. So we'll get to that in a second. So you can see here, it's got an option here that's required, but what's driving that for this particular model is this, the video card driver that's automatically selected, which is the AMD one, which is the GPU built in. But it turns out these things have a little bit of an issue with that. If I come in here and try to select this video output option, you've got all these different ones here. You've got 3 different VGAs, you've got DVI, it's got options on here that aren't actually on this device, and I couldn't get any of them to work. But if I come back here and I change the driver itself down to this ATI one, it goes to 1024 by 768, which is perfect for this monitor. As you can see, it's working. Color depth 32, and then default for the video output and the refresh rate. And then it's kind of handy, this little information bar down here. If you hit enter on that, that tells you the MAC address, the IP address that you pulled, and the host name that it's actually using for WTware. But once you've got it set up here, what you do is you hit continue with these settings, and then basically it's going to run a test with those settings. But I'm going to write these down because I know that this is going to work. Video equals ATI, big U in parentheses, and BP equals 32, and display equals 1024 by 768. Of course, that's going to change per monitor. But down here it says hit F10. We're going to hit F10. And there you go. So it's running the test right now. You can see the banner over here on the side that says evaluation copy. And that is what's going to show up on the final version until we actually put the license file in there. But as you can see, that actually worked with those settings. And unfortunately, it'd be nice if there was an option where you could just hit save and it wrote it to the file. So you got 2 ways of doing this. I'm going to actually just manually enter this into and show you how to edit the config file that's already on the system itself, versus going through the process of actually entering it back into the Windows 10 virtual machine, into the configurator software, and rewriting it with those settings onto the USB drive again, and then reinstalling. Which, if you want to make that part of the configuration that you have stored on there, that's perfectly fine. But I'm just going to show you this way to do it. So right now we're going to reboot. That's one of the more pleasant things about using this thin client and WTware is it, going through all those multiple options, only took a matter of minutes. It's not like booting up a Dell R710. It takes 10 minutes just to try to change one setting. So we're actually going to go, instead of configure video card, we're going to come down here to edit configuration file, and we're just going to add these lines here that we tested out with. and then F2 to save. Then let's see what happens here. Hit escape. See if it loads to the screen. There you have it. Okay, so that, folks, is the username and password logon to my actual virtual machine. And again, you can see here on the side that we've got evaluation copy, and we're going to go ahead and take care of that right now using that same USB drive. So one of the things I also need to show you, by bringing your mouse down here in the bottom right hand corner, it pops up with the IP address that has been given by DHCP, and also, more importantly, and I showed you this before and it's in the instructions on WTware.com, it shows you the MAC address. So I'm going to go through the licensing process, and I'm going to need that MAC address exactly the way that it is set up here. It'll be colons and all. And last that there. Okay, now I should be ready to go back over here and actually create the license file on the WTware website. Okay, back over here at the website. Now I am already logged in, and what I'm going to do, logged in, you get the email from WTware, folks. They're going to use your email address, and then they're going to send you a password in the file. You're going to be able to log into one of their licensing servers, which is exactly what this is. And you can see here that I have 5 licenses available. I'm going to use one of those today, and then I'm going to give away the other 4. So here's how you get one of those if you're interested. So subscribe to the channel. Won't hurt. Doesn't have to be permanent, but it helps me out. And leave me a comment down in the comments section that says that you are interested in, potentially winning one of these 4 license files. And it's that easy. Pretty much, I'm going to be out of town for the next week, so I'm going to try to let enough people comment and subscribe to the channel, and then when I return home from the Netherlands, I will go ahead and collect all that information and run it through some sort of a random number generator and select who the winners are. I'll post that list of who the winners are, and you can provide me email addresses, and I'll contact WTware, and they should be able to send you one of the 4 licenses. So again, pretty easy. Subscribe to the channel, and then leave me a comment down below on this particular video that says you're interested in doing this. I'm going to go ahead and run through this process of putting the MAC address in and creating my license file. Very important you get this correct. As I said in the other video, if you get it wrong, it will output a 0. It will output a license file. It just won't work, and you will have burned your license. So don't do that. Get it right the first time, folks. Okay. Yeah, so pretty much that's how you put in a MAC address with all the colons. The example is right here above. You put in all those different numbers and make sure it comes from the machine that you end up doing. You change your mind, you want to use Wi-Fi later on, that's a different MAC address, so be prepared for that. Alright, so I went through the licensing process on the WTware website, and you create a blank text document, and you copy the string of text in as they actually show you in their process. Down here, show you from there. So that's where I put in the MAC address. It generates static license, and this is what it spits out. And you copy from here to here, and you paste that into a blank text document. Then you rename that to WTware.txt or .lic, as I've done right here. So this was the old one that I created for my old HP thin client, and this one is the new thin client. Let's hold that up. So that is the base of, you know, what it looks like when you install the WTware thin client software onto your thumb drive, right? So it's not very large. It's only 200 or 300 meg. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those, move them because I don't need it anymore. And what I'm going to do, that new WTware license file that I created right here, I'm going to copy that over to the thumb drive. So it is now sitting at the root directory level of the thumb drive. And now I'm going to pop this out, and we'll go back over to the thin client itself and install it from there. Okay, so we're going to pop the USB drive in here, and we're going to reboot. We need to enter setup. And we're going to go down here to load WTware license file. It says insert USB media and press enter. License file should be in the root directory, and its name should be WTware.lic. And that's exactly what we've done. So we're going to hit enter. WTware license was saved to hard disk or reboot computer. Should be able to pull this out now. Okay, that did not work. So folks, full disclosure, I did exactly what I told you all not to do. I was distracted while I was entering in digits for my MAC address, and I got it wrong. So I ended up burning one of my license files. So I went through the process again. I got it right this time. And I have created the, I put the failure one in here with the wrong address. So that one to the trash that's on my thumb drive, and this is the new one that I created with the proper MAC address. And now we're going to go put this into the thin client and actually activate it. Here we are again. I'm going to pop this in. Hit delete, enter setup. Down to load WTware license. It's on there. We've done this before. WTware license is saved. Now we want to reboot. So we should be able to pop that drive out and reboot. And success. Finally, we have no longer the evaluation on the side. We have successfully put a license file directly onto this machine here. And again, there's two ways to do that. Putting it on there directly, just like we did here, or you can load it into the configurator software, and the next time you upgrade the software on one of these machines, which you do the exact same thing, you install it onto the thumb drive and put it on there, you can just do it that way. So we're all good. So, folks, that was quite the adventure there. Um, you know, can't believe I burned one of those license files doing exactly what I told everybody not to do. But there you have it. It can happen just that easy. Very careful putting those octets in. Um, so, that doesn't change anything as far as the, drawing is concerned. I said I'd give away 4. If I have to buy the 4th one myself from WTware, I'll work that out with them. So, a big thank you to PCLiquidations.com. Again, they provided the HP thin client, the T620 that we used here today, and it's the machine works perfectly fine. I have a feeling it's going to really work for me. That's going to be my main thin client that I use around the house here. And a big thank you to WTware.com for providing the licenses, and so that I could do this and give them out to you folks. Again, if you want to be in the running for one of the 4 license files that will be given away, subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment down below that says that you want to be a part of the drawing, and we'll go from there. But thanks again, everybody. Have a good one.